Get ready to get inspired. This is the Go for the Goldie podcast.
It's Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, and we're live, coming in hot from Texas, baby. Today I'm chatting with a gentleman who started an NFT project with one simple goal in mind, and that goal is to save the world. Joining me from New York, the founder of MetaCribs, Sean Nugent. Sean, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, man.
Go for the gold. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate us connecting and working on this really cool project.
Yeah, definitely, man. And so I got to tell you right off the bat, it's pretty funny. You were the first person I ever lined up to do a show with.
Okay.
But people watching right now, I've had a podcast for a while. I've done a ton of episodes, but not, NFT, Solana world stuff. It's all athletic, athletes, stuff like that. And people hearing that for the first time are going to be like, well, why the hell does it say episode 3 at the top? Well, because you were episode 1, but then I asked another project to come on, and they wanted to come on before you. Like, they just were like, can you do it Monday? I was like, oh, okay. So then I didn't want to have, like, episode 2 precede episode 1. So now you're episode. So technically, there's no episode 1. There was never an episode 1. It goes episode 2 and 3. So you're number 3. But I stumbled across your project. When was it? I think it was last week, right?
Yeah. We came across last week. You did a really awesome video review of our website and just more about the project, man. I point so many people to that. You were able to explain it almost better than I was. I was like, I love this guy. I'm in. How do I help?
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I just, I'm very genuine in everything that I do. I know I can only imagine, putting together something like this. So for you, I can only imagine what goes into it on your end. So I just I hate to use the word synergistic, but, I like just, working with, people who I can tell are putting their heart and soul into something, because there is a ton of work that goes into it. And anything that I could do to help support a cool project is definitely, what I'm looking to do. So I think maybe to get started here, Sean, why don't we, just at a real high level, maybe talk about, who you are and what MetaCribs is all about.
Sure. I'm Sean Nugent, the founder of MetaCribs. Wow, there's so much to unpack here. We had an idea. I've got a background with some future technologies, and I've been following the 3D printing world of houses for quite a number of years now. The pandemic put a kibosh on that. You couldn't travel, you couldn't get equipment. But my goal was looking into 3D printing houses. And I researched every company I could. I learned all I could about material sciences, building of houses, the potential cost savings, the strength of the structures that can be added and hyped up. And I see this technology is very scalable, and it's available now. And so I was looking around, did a bunch of research, and I settled on an Opus Core machine. Great company. They're actually just down on the Space Coast. They're doing amazing things. And I went down. I've been in touch with them middle of the pandemic before the pandemic. And I started training. I went down in-person courses, learned everything I could about the machine. Wow. And I was able to get my hands on a deposit for that machine. That should be landing in August, September. I'm going to be one of 4 people in the country that have one of these things.
Holy cow, I didn't know that. That's insane.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. So I was going forward with the construction company one way or another. I've got some great people on my team who have a massive background, especially in the military space, for big industrial concrete structures. And I'm a crypto lover. I have been for quite some time, and actually came across Solana. There was a great project I see very potential in Web 3.0 called KIN, K-I-N coin. They were the first project to actually go onto Solana. And Solana was like $1.
Wow.
Yeah, and everyone said I was crazy. But I said, if this project is going on to Solana, and I saw how the transaction speed was there, and of course, growing pains with Solana, we all understand that. Is it an Ethereum killer? Who knows? But from there, with the crypto space, fell in love with NFTs, projects, and I saw the potential to add real world utility. There's a lot of great projects in there. In the Solana space, and a lot of them are doing amazing things, and we support so many of them. We've got so many great people in our group now that are going to be on the whitelist and get us over the finish line. But I said, how can I tie in real world assets, as in how can people actually own a house based on an NFT? How can people actually get real estate income from an NFT? And at the speed that I can print houses, with one printer, I can do a house in under a week.
Wow, really? That's because I remember on the website it says, 90 days from the time that you start building it to the time that someone can move into a house? I think that was the timeline, right? Am I close on that? Do I remember that right?
You broke up. Would you say 60 or 90 days?
I think it was 90 days on the website. It said from the time you start building a home finished. To when they can move in.
If I have my slab down, I can build a structure in 40 hours, and this thing can print 24 hours a day. That's the structure.
Wow.
And it will scale, and the speed will include. I'm trying to get my hands on 5 printers by the end of next year, so I can knock out, little villages if I want in no time.
That's so cool. And I'll tell you, like with a project like this, I feel, it's gonna attract just more and more people to it, and then obviously therein lies the more investment,
of course,
to kind of reinvest into the project. And I just think what I find so interesting about, and I'm still so relatively new to this whole space and meeting so many people from different backgrounds. It's like Solana and NFTs and just this whole world is so new that it's just cool to see people apply their goals and their interests, and just apply that and transition that into the crypto world. And it's I think you hear it a lot with people when they talk about NFTs. They're like, oh, it's a JPEG, and they just have no idea, that's a clear functional misunderstanding of like what this is and where it's going. And the utility, I think, is the big part. That's like at least when I started, in this world, I'm always looking for utility. What is the point of this? Where's this going? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the another great point is we love Ethereum. I love Ethereum 2.0. We love Bitcoin, but the energy use to me can be astronomical. Getting an NFT on Ethereum with the gas fees, number one, but like an NFT transaction on Ethereum can take up like 5 gallons of gasoline use of energy. Solana is the same. Every transaction is the same. It's pretty much a Google search. And our goal with the houses is not just to 3D print houses. My goal is to have net zero houses. That is my base level that I want to go to. Wow. And we can do a lot of that with certifications, because I'm going to remove 85% of all the waste on a construction site, just building with this machine. So we wanted to keep to the ethos of the company. And a lot of people, when I started this 4 months ago, said, if you're not on OpenSea, you're dead. If you don't use Ethereum, you're dead. And I said, I kind of been in here for a little bit longer in Solana than most people. And I see the vision, the scalability, and the speed. And so many people in that community have been open and welcoming to me and my ideas. And we're very excited. Our launch is going to be next week on the 17th. Anybody who's listening, there are some whitelist spots still available.
Get excited, folks. Get excited.
But, it's going to be very interesting because the NFTs are going to be tied to the houses. And I'm going to be able to print a ton of these things. And we're going to be able to give residual income. And we plan to set it up in a DAO system for our original holders of the Scuba series. So we won't have any issues or problems coming up with security-based institutions or any type of legality in it. And there's a fantastic company out there called Proppy. They're actually auctioning off the first house ever as an NFT this week in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
There's been 150 bids on this thing. So I've been speaking to them and told them, look, my printer comes in August. Let's figure this out now. Let's get to the point where when I do build these houses, you guys have everything from the building codes, the safety, the fire, the ownership, all ready to go. And we can issue these NFTs for houses. And what we're also going to be doing to some of the members that hold our cards for a certain date or a certain length, we're going to airdrop golden key NFTs to some of our holders, and that will give you up to $100,000 towards the price of a house.
Wow.
Now think about it. 2 of those people or 3 of those people come together and they say, well, we're just going to get a house off you, and then they can get rental income. There's a lot of opportunities as well with staking and actually doing liquidity pools and decentralized finance of people who hold these cards can actually put them together, and we should be able to take those assets and then move it into building material. Wow. So you can have like 25 people, they're holding one house, 25 people holding another house, and they're going to have their own residual income. They can take it, they can sell it, they can rent it. And I've got some amazing people working on this in the background. I'm not a financial advisor and do not pretend to be one. But the real estate in one, they're going to eliminate so much of the paperwork, which kills trees, so much of the hours people spend on going to look at things. How do I purchase stuff? Dealing with banks, approvals. We're going to streamline the process of home buying. It's pretty much, hey, go on, click, you get your NFT, come show it to me. Here's your house. And for every house we build, I'm going to plant 10,000 trees, or I'm going to remove 10,000 pounds of trash out of the ocean in the owner's name.
Now, that was my next question. So that's like, it's like I gave you a script. I wanted you to talk about the trees. So in the past week, you've planted, 2 trees. I've gotten the certifications that you passed along my way. So explain to people how that integrates into this whole ecosystem that you've created as well.
Well, I think this planet is at an inflection point. I think technology has the opportunity to maybe capture carbon, and there's some smarter people than me working on it. But I said every day, no matter what, since I started this, even when there was 10 people following me on Instagram and Twitter, I planted trees, or I took trash out of the ocean out of my own money. I just donated in people's names because we all need less trash in the ocean and we all need more trees in the environment. And there's some very interesting opportunities coming down the line with our company, trying to partner with drone companies that can plant 5,000 trees a day. Other companies such as Team C's that we're going to be giving as much as we can to, because they can make an instant impact. If you make your donation and they're out there, they're sitting there going, here's $5,000 worth of plastic crap out of the ocean, and you did that. Yeah. So imagine for every tweet or retweet in the NFT space, 1 tree was planted or 1 pound of trash was taken out.
That's incredible, yeah.
There'd be hundreds of millions of pounds of trash out of the We wouldn't have anything to clean up. So that's what I'm trying to start people's mindset of changing. That NFTs can be used for good. It can be energy efficient, and it has real world utility. Yeah. And there's some people in the group now, they're actually going out and donating money to plant trees and remove trash themselves. There's no reward for this. You're not getting like extra NFTs from me or anything, but it's starting a small change, and that's what humbles me and keeps me going.
I bet.
It's so beautiful to see.
Yeah, and I think, it's whenever I'm like looking for a new project to either, invest in or talk about or, just get involved with, I think community is really, I'm starting to really see that the common, core of projects, of successful projects are a strong community. And of all the, Discord channels I've been in and, Twitter, the Twitter spheres of different projects, yours is just a ton of very positive, upbeat people who are doing good, not only, by each other, but for the world. And I tell you, man, like, this is just a small anecdote, but last night I just woke up at like 1:30 in the morning or something like that, and I just rolled over. I couldn't get back to bed, so I just looked at my phone, and you're just up, you're just grinding, you're just in the Discord. So it was like 2:30 in the morning for you, and you are. I got the impression right away that you were a nonstop, 24/7 grinder kind of guy. Like you're just hustling, and I'm a lot like that too. It's like when you're passionate about something, it's like you're fanatical about it, and I got that right off the bat with you. So. I know, obviously you said, the mint for the scubas, right, is going to be next week, and that's kind of the first step in the process. Can you explain a little bit to people listening, just kind of what the roadmap for that is a little bit?
MetaCribs, A ton of great information on our website and on our Discord, but just to lay it out, there is going to be a collection of 2,222 scuba cards. A lot of that money is going to be actually just given away to community members and especially to conservation efforts. We've got a really in-depth roadmap. Some people are sitting there going, you guys are actually going to be building fragmentation pools for coral reefs. And I said, absolutely yes. Anything that we can do to make an immediate impact. So the scuba series is pretty much your VIP pass. If you can show us that you want to do good for the planet, you want to be a real person in the community, as you have seen, zero advertising. I'm not doing it. I'm not reaching out to influencers. I don't have to. I don't want to. I want people who are coming in, they want to read my light paper. They want to be a part of a project that has the opportunity to shake up the NFT space. So the scubas are going to put you in a really great position because if you are on our whitelist for the scubas, you're going to be on a whitelist for the MetaCribs. MetaCribs is a brilliant, brilliant idea. We're doing iconic homes from around the world, celebrity homes, and we actually are working on a couple collaborations with some other NFT projects that might need their own crib or space. We partnered with the first AR VR platform on Solana called District 3, and I actually have my Justin Bieber house with them right now, and I told them, whip me up something because I want to show this to people. So the MetaCribs, we plan to get that into the metaverse. We see that you're going to be able to walk into your own house, your mansion, and have an experience of your NFTs on the wall. There's live music options. We're going to have different gaming platforms available as we build out. Because every one of the mothers buying land in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And that's where as far as like NFT projects that interest me, I'm a gamer, so I like play to earn games. I'm involved in racing games and just stuff like that. And then the metaverse is another thing because it's going that way. Why not get ahead of it, right? I find it very fascinating, and I just think it's just like infinite possibilities that are right. We're just at the precipice of it. We're scratching the surface.
It's very, very, very early, and anyone, in my opinion, that tells you where it's going to land, no one knows. You know, where does Meta go? Where do the smaller independents go? Where does Sandbox land? And some people have asked me directly, where are you going to the metaverse? We need to know. I said, well, I'd love to tell you, but 8 weeks from now, that could all change. I don't want to put anything out in the roadmap that we cannot do or execute. So we're very excited. We're speaking to a lot of people in the Solana space. And there's a lot of great projects out there where in time we feel we can just take our MetaCrib and either drop it into their platform or make a custom platform just for them, for their club, for their hangout. Because we've got people who can build all of these amazing houses. It's a ton of work, especially, you see a lot of other projects. It's a very small house on a plot of land, and that's it. And that's a lot of detail. You've seen what we're working on.
Yeah.
These houses are phenomenally large.
And you got the Fresh Prince one. That was cool.
That's very cool. Who doesn't love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? But you know what? I saw some of these like, it's an apartment. Okay, it's a one-room apartment. How do you have 25 of your friends over for a live music concert?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
You're going to be bumping into each other.
Right.
So I said, well, we better make these things bigger and badder than anybody else has, because I want in time to be able to have, live artists streaming their content or their music. If you make it a party space, an activity space, you can do live town halls. If you get some of these spaces and people want to do like a work meetup. Yeah. Great. I would love in time if there was 1,000 people at like an NFT conference in the Justin Bieber house.
See, something for me that I like, this is like the way I see, at least in like my personal use for it is, so I'm working through my training certification right now, and I just, got hired at a gym as a side gig, and I like to
F45 is it?
Yeah, oh yeah, and I'm trying to like parlay that into like a career, and I'm trying to figure out different ways to position it, and I'm just thinking like how cool would it be in the metaverse to just have have people come and I lead workouts in the metaverse, like I think that would be a really cool idea, and like just like you're saying, if you can't have 2 people in your room, like that's not very fun. You want to have a lot of people in there hanging out. And have you done Oculus Rift? Have you done the VR chat yet? Have you experienced that?
I have not done the VR chat. I've played around with a couple of the headsets, and I do love them. I'm more excited about the 6 or 7 new platforms that are coming out.
Yeah.
What is Apple going to do? What is Facebook going to change? There's a bunch of other people who want it to be, I remember years ago when Google Glass came out. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. It doesn't work. Okay. But in time, when you just put your glasses on and you're in that space,
that's coming.
Will get there.
That's coming.
Is it there now? No. I think Oculus is a fantastic platform. We're actually going to be giving out a bunch of those to community members because they're very interested in it.
Yeah.
We'd love to have some type of demo up into their library in time as well, just to show people what is possible.
Right.
But technology isn't linear; it's exponential. So where we are now and where we are in 8 months, like I'm looking at what's happening at Thanksgiving before this Christmas, because that's where they're all going to come out. And that's what's going to be a big, big push into all of this with the metaverse. So I'm excited. We know this is where it's going. There's a lot of very smart people and a lot of money behind it, and it's not going away. Maybe the pandemic sped that up, people being home, people looking for different types of entertainment during lockdowns, but people are very comfortable like spending time communicating to people with technology. I grew up, man, if you told me that I had one of these 20 years ago,
it didn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
There's more power in this phone than Bill Clinton had at the Pentagon while he was president.
There's more computer processing power than they had when they went to the moon, right? I mean, it's
astronomical.
And if I told you that you had a phone that did all that and we never used it to make calls, you'd think it'd be even crazier.
Yeah. So I mean, I try to be in rooms with people, reading as much as I can, but especially live streams, or if it's TED Talks, or if it's Peter Diamandis and his abundance group. What is coming down the line? I like being the dumbest guy in the room, to be honest. I like speaking to people. I like trying to, understand that I don't know what I don't know.
Yes.
And there's some brilliant minds out there. But when you have energy and passion and you guys connect on a frequency of wanting to walk down a path and change the lives of people around the globe, just things come back and love comes back.
You're right. I think humility is a virtue, and I think that gets lost nowadays, especially like you just pointed out. You have a phone, and I can always look up anything I want, right? I could just pull out a phone, I could Google it or whatever you want to use, and just have an answer right away. Well, that doesn't mean that you're intelligent. You know what I mean? Like having humility and knowing you don't know everything, and the more that it's an interesting paradox. At least I've come to this realization of my own. But like, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Like you said, you open up a door to something, and then all of a sudden there's 10 more doors. And then you open up one of those doors, and there's 10 more doors there. And, someone who tells you they got all the answers, they don't. They definitely do not have all the answers.
I don't, and I'm just trying to build the right team, because the combination of 3D printing houses tied into NFTs, real estate it's above and beyond. And that's what I tell people. This is not like a fundraise or what happens if we sell out. I got my deposit on the printer. I'm doing that one way or another.
Right.
But I wanted to find the way not to say, okay, we're just doing the houses and everyone's getting paid, or we're going to do a coin. Number one was like, if we're not giving back, I'm not doing this. And also what's very interesting is there's a couple companies I'm in talks with. They're using 3D printed technology to build man-made coral reefs. You might have seen some of the posts on like our Instagram. X-Tree is one of them. They've got a printer up in Cornell University I plan to go see. Like colleges, universities, people who are adopting this technology, I want to help fund some of their material to say, how do we use this technology for good? We can make, so many different objects with this, but how can we help heal and build faster and better and smarter? And also, I want to get people from my community trained up with Opus technology. There's going to be 10 or 15 courses for the introduction to 3D printing just given away. There's so many smart people who have construction backgrounds, engineering backgrounds, people who build houses. And I told them, I said, I can build these houses with 2 people.
That's wild. That is wild.
The structure will be up in 2 people. And then, of course, we have to finish our roof, and we'll get, the electricians and the plumbers in as we build. But I only need those people on site for 2 or 3 days. So there's been such interest, and some people said to me, well, I didn't go to college. I don't have a background in this. I said, listen, I'm telling you right now, the way that this is laid out, you can learn at any point of your life. You can get this technology, and in time you're going to be certified, and you can start a new career in something that is just at the bottom of a wave.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm very excited to bring the community in. Anybody who wants to join the team as we print, it's like, I will pay to get you guys certified. If you have the passion and the desire to learn, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want people who want a job. I want people who believe in this, understand this, and say, I want to do some cool stuff, travel around, print some houses, and save the planet. Boom, I'm in. Let's go. Where do we sign?
Yeah. Well, it's cool, too, because I feel like, it sounds like, what you've explained so far is that you were on this path regardless if NFTs happened or not. Say we live in a parallel universe where NFTs and crypto just didn't exist. You still have an insane passion about the planet and helping people, and this technology's around, and you were going to do this one way or another. It just so happened that now you can, leverage the NFT space and build a really cool community to help this all grow together at a faster rate and, get more traction, right? I mean, is that off base, or does that sound about right?
Yeah, I that's totally it. And projects and successful companies all come down to community.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And why people choose one thing over another. The number one biggest concern, I think, to most people in the United States, where I'm currently building the houses, we have other potential build partners around the world. I've been speaking to people who are in Germany. I'm speaking to people who are in Spain, and there's a brilliant 3D printing company in Italy, and they're all sitting there going, what are you doing? We're doing the printing, but we don't know anything about the space. But I just think that community and building this the right way, that's the only way to do it. Like, I'm not here to sell anyone anything. I'm not here to, hype anything up. I'm here to say, we've got something really cool this space hasn't seen yet. We just want to grow and learn and figure this out as we go. But the 3D printing of it, like, that's set in stone for me. Like, if you go on Opus website, you go to their training and all their photos, I'm in them. Like, I'm in their site because they're like, so you're cool. Like fourth person in the whole world who was like, I'm coming down here right now. Nothing you can do about it, and I'm learning this stuff. So it's been a crazy ride.
And it's just the beginning.
And
you're still going up. You're still going up that first hill, I think, too, take away the NFT part.
There's a lot of work to do, and that's the thing, like you said. Like, I think I was on the score till...
What'd you say, sorry? Oh, you there?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, lost you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what I was saying is, like, take away the just NFT portion of it for a second. Mm-hmm. 3D printing that's just another tip of the spear. Like, people are really interested in that. That is a world-changing type technology, and for you to be
as we know, in the United States, there's over 5 million people who don't have homes in this country. We saw the cost of lumber go through the roof. We saw the shortage of labor in this country, and we feel it's a perfect opportunity to push this technology forward. I mean, so many people I know, they could be a cop or a fireman or a school teacher, and they're outside New York City, and they're sitting there going, they've got their kids and their taxes. They go, I can't afford a $700,000 house, and I've got to put $50,000 into it. So that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's how do you do that and stay ahead? I mean, we see it as even some of the prices on Opus they're taking deposits on houses. What happens when they build, or we build 100 houses? What happens when it's 1,000 houses? This is going to scale to the point. Number one, in the next 12 months, there will be no Portland cement in anything I build, period.
Wow.
There's a large CO2 release when people do make cement because the process of taking everything, combining the materials, and heating it up through the process of geopolysis, well beyond what a normal typical CMU block, which is the basis for most building materials in the country, especially in the Southeast. Due to hurricanes, storms, tornadoes, things of that nature, you need that. And of course, there'll be traditional rebar in it for now, but we see it totally in time that there'll be no concrete. And, I'm not looking what happens in 6 months. I have a vision for what happens in 6 years, 20 years. And what is the value of an NFT that you want to hold?
We know what I love about this. The project.
I see these things as.
What I love about this project too is it's every great invention throughout history. What do they all have in common? They solve a problem. They're not creating a problem, or they're not creating an arbitrary product that there was no desire for. It's no one was just like, well, TVs are huge, we should make thicker ones that are heavier. No, you know what I mean? Like, oh, these, a horse and buggy. Well, this is it. We don't need to go any faster. You know what I mean? Like, there's every invention in the history of mankind has solved a problem, and what you're doing is solving a major problem in the United States. And obviously around the world too, but especially in the United States. And so you touched on it for a second there, but I want to go back to something that you said, because that's something that I had been asked too. Is this? Obviously this will change, or we can't look in the crystal ball and know exactly where this will be. But what do you see? Where will you be starting to build these homes, and where do you see it going? Is it going to be more local to like New York where you are? Or is it going to be in different parts of the country, the United States? Or do you see it going across the pond or different countries? Where do you see this going?
We have multiple options available. My number one thing when I build these houses is I want to try to find a way to implement clean energy and have a clean water source that, if needed, can be independent from any outside influence or contact. We're probably looking into the southeast of the country as of now, just based on the codes for most of those buildings are CMU block, and we go way above that with strength. So anytime I walk into a building code office, I can give them the plans, and this prints out like a CMU block. They're going to sit there and go, okay, we get it. It's going to be a very easy transition in certain parts of the country. Our print partner, as we said, is on the Space Coast of Florida. But there's multiple options. I don't want to let too many ideas out of the bag, but it's going to be available anywhere in the lower 48 states as of now. It doesn't matter if it's hot weather, cold weather. The technologies are there to implement green initiatives with it. And, I'd love in time to, get the Tesla power walls involved with this, to get solar roofing involved with this. And that's our goal, to get to net zero.
That's cool.
I've got a couple ideas where I'd like to build right off the bat. And we'll go from there. But I definitely see demo houses up that are livable by the end of the year.
Wow.
That's my goal. And without question, I get a printer, I'm not stopping. Like, it's just going on 24 hours a day.
You really? I can't see that coming out of you. You know what I mean? You seem like a guy who likes to take it easy.
Yeah, there's so much demand with this. Like, I've spoken to a lot of city council members that are in the housing space. I've worked with people who are in housing of urban development. They're very interested. And another very interesting option as well, I have people who are in the Native American Housing Council, and that is the most devastated housing demographic in the United States. 65 to 70% of their houses are actually in disrepair. And there's a lot of government funding that is thrown their way, but because of their distance, they can't get the right people to come on. There's not a Home Depot when you're 100 miles off in a reservation.
Right.
So there's a huge demand for houses there, and we're looking to set up partnerships just with certain tribes, and a lot of these people might be out in places that have a lot of sunshine, and they don't, they can have the solar power. But the devastating needs of a lot of people on Native American lands is something that I want to tackle as well. But we can do everything from government agencies to cities. There's a lot of disaster relief options as well, just because of the speed that you can build. I think it was Lake Charles, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. The homes are wiped out And FEMA came in, God bless them. They did what they could, and they put a lot of these people in double wide trailers as temporary solutions. Another storm came in and knocked them all over.
I was just in New Orleans for Thanksgiving, and the houses are still in disrepair. You can just see as you drive into the city. It's nuts.
It is, and the strength of these buildings, I mean, far exceeds what you do in CMU Block. Even if you look down in the terrible tornadoes that were down in the Kentucky area, the only buildings that are left standing are like City Hall or the fire department. That's CMU Block. Everything else that was built with wood sticks is gone. We want to be able to come in and change that, or say, hey, we got an emergency relief printer. We're just going to build shelters right off the bat. This thing will be up in a couple weeks that you can put people in that can stay, they can sleep in it, and we'll figure it out afterwards. And speaking to my partners in the material science world, it looks as of now that we're going to be actually able, if we want to deconstruct the building, take the roof off, knock the building down, and take the material back and recycle it.
Wow.
And that's what's really cool.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So and for anybody listening, I do want to let you know that the links to everything that you're going to need to know about this product or this project are going to be in the notes, so you can take a look at it. I'll put a link to the deep dive that I did on this project, but also the website and everything there. And I think, and there's the video of the 3D printing machine on your website. So if people want to kind of put an image to what you're talking about here, you can certainly do that, and it'll help kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together here. So something else I did want to ask you about, kind of shifting gears here from the more project-based, like the more specifics of the project to what is it like being. You said something that triggered this question, and you said, I don't want to give too many ideas. I don't want to put too many things out there. And I can understand that because you're a dreamer, and I think there's a fine line that you have to walk when you are the founder of a project, because like you said, with a roadmap, if say you have this date that you put 2 months out, and then you missed that deadline, well, it doesn't mean you failed. You know what I mean? There could be things behind the scenes that people don't know, but then that could leave doubt, right? Like that, you see that a lot. Some will say the tokenomics for this project is going to be on this day, and then that day comes and goes, and then all of a sudden it becomes crazy toxic. So what's it like balancing your lofty goals and the visions that you have with being the founder of this and running that Discord and kind of running the ship? Do you find that difficult to balance that?
I mean, man, I think people should be running towards their goals like they were lit on fire. I think you were here one time. You've got to do everything you can to create enough abundance for you and everyone around you. It's a lot. I've seen that with projects, the missed goals, deadlines, and timelines. There's a lot to tokenomics that smarter people will tell you about. And sometimes projects have to sit and take a breath. And if you have a real community that you can be open and engaged with, you will see me making videos every day on Discord, no matter what. I will reach out and welcome members.
And Sean, I'm going to introduce you, or I'm going to interrupt you right there, because Stephen Freshour just mentioned. He said it just perfectly lines up with what you were just saying. He said, Sean's always active on the Discord, too. Within 5 minutes of joining a week ago, he donated a tree in my name. So, I mean, that just is a perfect example, unscripted, of exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, my face is on this, and, a lot of projects they can't. And I know there's a lot of security issues with NFTs and crypto, but to balance goals, we have a lot of goals, and I have deadlines on those of times and dates that I feel are achievable if we keep up at this pace. But, like you said about things get toxic. When you have 20,000 people in a group, all of them don't own NFTs, but they want one. Sometimes they can make a group toxic on purpose, try and get people to sell to lower the price so they can buy in. Yeah. I don't want that. I hope we have a very small community of people, and we're actually going to move the NFT, especially the whitelist holders and the MetaCribs holders, are going to be in their own private groups in time, so we can collaborate. We can keep the right communication to the people that are going to be very involved with this project, and I think that's a very smart move.
I think that's smart too. I like that.
You got to grind. I've got some great people on the team. We're going to be adding more as we go. And I'm very excited, but like when I say that, hey guys, you're going to be seeing me down in March with Opus Core with the printer. You're going to be seeing me down like talking to people at dive sites. You're going to see me up with other printers that are going to be doing coral reefs.
That's so
Hold
cool.
me to it.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not here to, paint a fairy tale to anyone.
Right.
I'm moving forward with this, and things change. Say I can't get a computer chip that needs to go in to the back of the machine to get the coding of the X's and O's right. Okay, hey guys, supply chain issue. But also with the building the houses, I was speaking to a great company, Dreamco Construction. They're out in Branson, Missouri. They have an Opus Core machine, and I spoke to them about, if you tell someone you're going to do something and build this house, how do you make sure you hit those dates and those goals? And he says, look, there's shortages of a lot of stuff. He goes, you know what you do? He goes, buy everything you need for the house. If it's a screw, if it's a light cover, if it's a vent for a window, he goes, get all of that in storage, have it ready to go. So when you get on site, you're not running around. You're streamlined. He goes, that's how many people lose time, money, and they don't hit deadlines. And we're cutting a lot of the contractors of a traditional build out. So that's my goal, is like, hey, we're getting set up. I've got everything ready to go. And, there will be learning curves, of course, as you build. But the technology is set up with Opus Core, especially they've got 3 floor plans available on the website. And I can pretty much put in those coordinates with 2 people, print the house, and go down the block and print the next one.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That's insane. I think something that's very unique with you as well is transparency. If you're just open and transparent about what's going on, I think that just goes so long in gaining trust of the members of your community too. I think that's something that maybe is lost. I think people are scared to just say, hey, like you said, I don't have a microchip. There is a supply chain issue. We were shooting for this date. It's going to be a month later, but hey, this is what happened. It was out of my control, but it's still going to happen. And just communication to the community and being transparent, I think it's a great way to build trust too.
Think about a traditional house build could take 12 to 14 months, and there's always issues, because there's so many different subcontractors. I'm coming in saying, all right, it's going to be 100 days. Oh wow, there's a pushback. It's 120 days.
Right.
You're going to be moved in 2 to 4 months. And the speed is going to be 8 times faster. The cost savings is really good right now, and it will continue as we scale. But there's a lot to this project, and I've already applied to NFT New York City. I've applied to Non-Funge in Lisbon, and I've got a team member finding anywhere that I can go and speak about this. I'd love to bring on other 3D printing companies who are very interested. I'd love to bring on other people in the real estate world, like Proppy, who are working on these solutions to have the ownership of real estate in NFTs, and open up collaborations, because we're walking down a path that people haven't done.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to create, figure it out, sit and just rethink it all. The amount of times I changed this, ripped up roadmaps, starting from scratch. But by putting that work and having those conversations with people, there's a couple of people in my group. They were in my Discord. I had 10 members.
Wow. Really?
I didn't have the website. I didn't have the light paper. I didn't have any of this. And they were asking questions. They're still here. From day one, I got on calls with them, and they were like, we see this. We don't know how you're going to do it. And now we're in where, we've got the art, we've got contracts, I've got my minting machine, I've got my printing machine coming. And they're sitting there telling everyone they know about this.
And just as an aside, I was going to ask you, who does your art? How did you come up with the artist?
We had some people, multiple people work on that, but I found a pretty cool artist to put it together. The idea is because I was an advanced scuba diver and giving back. I didn't see any scuba art. I thought it'd be really cool, just so people know right off the bat, instead of jumping into the houses. And we've got some really amazing people working on the MetaCribs as well, that are remaining nameless as of now. But that all will be revealed. Which is pretty exciting as well. But I love the art. I think it's fun. It's easy. It kind of just opens your eyes of like, oh, that's like a nice, fun, easy piece of art. I like it. Yeah. It's colorful. What are they working on? I want to know more.
It's like when you date somebody. the first thing that you notice about someone is you're attracted to them, right? You don't know their personality. You don't walk up to them because like, oh, that looks like a nice person. You walk up to them because they're hot, right? You're like, wow, that's. But once you get to know them, you fall in love with them, and like, it sounds kind of cheesy to say, but I mean that's how I came across your project. To be completely honest with you, I forgot where I came across it. It might have been Twitter or I don't even know where, but I saw the art and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I'm looking for like a metaverse type project, and then once I started reading it, I'm like, oh my god, this is so unlike anything I've come across so far, and then the icing on the cake was talking to you, meeting you, and just to see this like insanely fanatical, passionate guy who's just obviously incredibly driven, just putting himself out there every day. I mean, you made that video immediately. Like I had met you, in the Discord channel. I made that video, and then you just are immediately sending me videos talking to me. I'm just like, and you're commenting on the medals behind me and stuff. I was just like, wow, what a nice guy. That was really cool.
Well, I saw the medals, like I told you. I love doing Tough Mudders and different races like that, Spartan races and different things. But I'm not saying I'm an old school type person. I like communicating to people audibly. And even sometimes people leave me voice messages that I can hear. Sometimes on text, I don't feel that you get the emotion, the passion, and you get to know someone. And a lot of people on Discord, I understand. When I was hiring people first on Discord, I was like, hey, let's get on a video chat. And they're like, that's not possible. I was like, if I can't see you and I can't talk to you,
what are we doing?
What am I going to do? Yeah. How can I work with you?
That's right, yeah.
I'm personable upbringing, to say the least, where you had to shake someone's hand and look them in the eye. And I've never forgotten that. And this is my best way to communicate. And I mean, as you know, I've got a film background, which I'm blessed to be, accomplished in that. And it's the way I can communicate with people. And that's my superpower. But I look forward to time. I want to be on a TEDx talk in time, explaining after the success and after these are printed. And mark my words, I will be.
I was going to say, it's just a matter of time, man. There's no way that won't happen.
But how can we inspire the next group of people in the NFT space to pick something that they're really passionate about? Because if you don't have the passion and belief, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get there.
That's right.
And I really think getting this out with a great community is going to light a fire for more and more people to say, well, he did it. Well, I got an idea. Let me get the team. And I'm open, available. Like I tell people, I'll give you my address, my phone number. You want to get on 3 o'clock in the morning and talk? Sometimes I feel like I'm an AA sponsor. I'm like, yeah, what can I do for you? I'm around, man. And I love talking about this stuff. This is my baby. And there's nothing I won't do at any time for anybody that wants to engage.
And what I think too, there's just so many projects. I mean, this is just literally the Wild West right now, especially in the Solana NFT space, because the OpenSea Ethereum world, I feel like that's obviously very well established, and maybe saturated to maybe not to a fault, but I mean it's just Solana and Ethereum are just two different universes right now. And with Solana, I think people see the opportunity, but I think that breeds many different ways of thought. And unfortunately, I've seen some where they act like it's a zero-sum game. Like your success means that I won't be successful. And that's just not what this is whatsoever. And I think, like you said, it's that the cliche, a rising tide raises all ships. Let's talk, let's be successful, let's grow this together. You know what I mean? Like I came across this project, I wanted to succeed. Like, why would I just be, but if I'm, a fan of another NFT project, that doesn't mean that your success means that one's going to fail, and I should, talk bad about that other one. Like, that's not what this is. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people see that way. Have you come across that at all, or?
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, my head has been down so deep into this, but I check out a lot of projects that could be similar to us, or get ideas and inspirations from people in the space. There's some fantastic people who've been in Solana since day one. And I think you want to just be able to collaborate and learn from other people about, mistakes, missteps. How can we improve and grow every day? There's a lot of projects that I'm just wow, you guys are awesome. Like, you're keeping me going, because like the month before they launch, I know I've seen that growth in their community. I've seen their organic engagement. And there's other projects, hey, I'll check them out and be like, well, I can't find the owner. There's no website, but there's 8,000 people on their Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, prove me wrong.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people don't see it. I think hype is great, and you have to get people's attention. But like you said, there's a big difference between ETH and Solana. But I think in time, is there cross-chain abilities? What happens in the metaverse? Where are these projects going with VR and AR? Like we're some people think we're early into crypto. I mean, I thought I was early into crypto 3 or 4 years ago. Right. Now I'm in the NFT space. Just like, wow, this is so cool to be at the bottom of a wave and hopefully help, shape some of it going forward and just keep learning and growing from some brilliant people who have been a part of this ride. And I continue to do that.
I agree with you, man. It's funny. And I'll use a reference that's going to be, applicable to your project. But it's funny that, all of my friends and everyone that I know, like, now I'm known as the NFT guy, and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, guys. Like, but like, people don't even know what it is. But I just tell people, and I'll cite your project as the example, but I'll say, the way I see NFTs are, the world's going this way. I mean, you don't have to understand it or not. It's going that way. Like, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, like the internet was coming, and there was nothing you were going to do to stop it, and if you don't learn it, you're going to get left behind. It's going to be part of our everyday lives. And that's how technology works. And on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts that I was listening to, he had Beeple on, and Beeple used the example. He said, in 2000, you asked, if you wanted to get somebody's email address, you would ask them, do you have an email address? Well, that question sounds completely off base now because it's the year 2022, and you just go, what's your email address? Well, and he thinks, and I agree with him, and you might too. I think that's the way it's going to be for crypto wallets. It's not like, do you have a crypto wallet? And I think, like you said, this growth is exponential. It's what Moore's law, technology, computer processing power doubles every 10 years or whatever. But what's your crypto address? Let me send you some crypto, and that'll be like more the standard phrasing in like 5 years, but. I forgot what I was going with this, but I just think that this whole space. So the example I was going to say was, I just find this all so fascinating, and I get to meet cool people like you, and it's just iron sharpens iron. You get to just draw each other's energy off each other, and I'll talk to people, and they're just like, the example I say is there's a ship that crashed with treasure, and it's somewhere over there, so. We got to go scuba dive and get that treasure. And then the person I'm talking to is like, well, I don't know how to scuba dive. Okay, well, learn how to scuba dive. There's treasure right there. Nah, that's too hard. Like, that's how I feel like when people say, like, the NFT stuff, I don't know what that is, and I don't really want to learn. Like, why? It's going that way. Just learn. Just learn. It's not even hard to learn. If a dumb like me could figure it out, like, anybody could figure this out,
I think there's opportunity, and if people don't want to, a lot of people won't be affected. They can live their life with their normal banking system and their everyday transactions, probably for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
I've even explained to some family members when I was asked, so what are you working on? And I said, well, it's a non-fungible token that's tied to real-world 3D printed assets, and we see that the properties are going to be going to the metaverse within the next 6 months, and there's going to be residual income set up on a DAO that's going to actually pay people to hold these with the staking system of multiple tokens, and I lost more 3.
You just spoke Chinese to them.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Now, did I have that vocabulary a year ago? No.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Even me 3 months ago. To like, if you were to take a picture of me right now talking to you on a podcast about 3D printed houses and the metaverse, like, what are we talking about?
I just try to learn and grow, man. And I read so many great, books during the pandemic and lockdown, especially in New York was pretty harsh. And it looks like we're coming out of that in a good way. And I just want to just keep cranking on and building more people on my team and just doing amazing stuff, because there's a lot of interest and excitement about that. And I just really look forward to like absolutely destroying our goals. There's a lot of stuff I have in store that is not even been released yet because I want to make sure that I can over deliver on everything I do. And I'm very excited to, unwrap some gifts coming down in the next couple months. This is a long-term project. I know some people will say, well, I can get this NFT and it starts paying me out in this coin in time. What's the real utility right off the bat? And those are great questions, and I have answers to them. But I said, if you're in the NFT space or you're in the crypto space, you've got a long-term vision. Some people don't. They want to flip. God bless them. There's some great projects to do that with. Yeah. But if you can take this in and go through the light paper, the website, the 3D printing of this, and the real-world utility, this is a project in my mind you can't let go.
Well, Sean, me and my wife are looking for a house, so I wouldn't hate it if you 3D printed me a house down here in Texas. Just saying.
Well, it's actually great. There's a printing company that we're in touch with. They're ahead of us in the game. Don't get me wrong. Beautiful, beautiful team of people called Icon. Okay. Icon is printing. They partnered up with, I believe, Lennar Homes. They already have printed some houses in Austin, and they're printing 100 of them as we speak. Wow. When you do a community of 100 3D printed houses, and this is, I think it was Lennar Homes, multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
If they're sitting there going, this is the future, who's the next company? Who's the company that if I get on a phone call with some of these home builders and say, I'll build the structures, you put in the roof and the wiring, and we're just going to crank out 50 of these in 2 months, they're going to go, what?
Excuse me? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's awesome.
You're going to put people in the houses faster. You can't build houses fast enough, and your costs have went up through the roof. We have a solution to that, and it's only going to grow exponentially. And I'm going down to Florida. I want to play with this printer. What are we building? Who can we help? Is it a school? Is it a hospital? What inner city community needs an immediate shelter put up? I can just come in and do that. Great. Like I said, I want 5 printers at some point next year. Is that going to be 20 in the next couple of years? I mean, Opus Core has a vision of 400 printers going in the next 6 years.
Wow. And there's 4 right now, you said, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That's so cool.
And I'm sitting there going, how many of these can I get my hands on? And there's other great printers from Icon to Cobod. They've got printed farms down in Florida, Cybees in the Netherlands, Mudbots is out in Utah. I want to get cross-trained in all of these because, as you said about all ships rising together, I don't see this as a competition. Right. If we all printed with 100 printers for the next 10 years, every single company had 100 printers right now for the next 10 years, they still would have crazy demand. That's how much opportunity is in the housing space. And we just see it as tying NFTs into it. It's like, come on.
So we got a question. We got a question from the crowd here for you, Sean. So relative to a typical house, let's take inflation and stuff out of it. But what's the price for like a 3D printed house? Is it more expensive, less expensive, on par? What are we talking?
You're definitely doing cost savings of anywhere, up to like 33%. If you check out the Opus Core website, they were actually taking deposits on houses right now that start in low 300s. I think it's 310. All you got to do is get your plot of land and have your water and your electric set up. And that is their first batches of houses to be delivered, I believe, in January, that they're actually printing themselves. I see it as the possibility of, okay, how do we do 10 of those in a community and cut that in half? I see every 6 months, this is going to come down, 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 down. For me to build a brand new house of that size in the metropolitan New York area, it's double that. And it takes 8 times as long.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. And we got another question from Texas. I'm assuming Texas. TX ATM owner. Are there any tax benefits to owning a 3D printed house?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be incentives for owning green houses. Tax benefits, I am not totally sure. I'm not a tax expert in any way. But I will definitely put that on my list of questions to try to look into it. I definitely know that if people, are purchasing these, especially if you want to build out like multiple apartments on a property, there's great tax incentives if you are to own those as a business owner for rental income. Once again, not a tax expert, but I look forward to learning as much as I can on that side. And that's where I try to get professionals on the team to answer those questions.
That's cool, man. I definitely get it. And I think this is just, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, an incredibly great project. And my goal, with these chats is, I want to just continue these conversations. I want to keep having you on. I want to do check-ins. I want to talk about the progress of the project, because this isn't a one and done thing. It's just like, all right, man, well, it's good to talk to you. See you never. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. You've got a great thing going on. I've checked some of your other videos. And I mentioned to you earlier, I was like, I can't wait to get back on and show the progress after the launch and do so many of the amazing things. And just, it's another avenue to reach out to people that might not have heard about a lot of these things in the project. One clarification, you can read about it all day, but having someone speak about it, I think is a wealth of information. And I'm just so grateful to you for what you're doing, man. I'm telling you, you're on a great path. Just keep it up and keep up that energy. If somebody doesn't want to speak to you about their project, shame on them.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I'm naturally inquisitive. And when I really like something, I dive in full go. I'm sure you can understand. And I'm just an inquisitive person. And I like to understand things at a deeper level and have a candid conversation. There isn't one of these questions that I had that, was planned or scripted or anything. It's just from the time that I said hello to you, it's just, I'm winging it. I have no idea where I'm going to go or no idea where it's going to take me. But we've been talking for over an hour now. And
yeah, you know what? I don't know how many people pre-launch of an NFT project would get on, answer live questions, shoot from the hip. A lot of people can't. And I don't know. I just, maybe we vibe with vibrational frequency and we've just got this vision of what's happening. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again. And I really look forward to giving you updates, and I'll probably be up at 4:00 in the morning on the Discord. If you can't sleep, hit me up, brother, and we'll stay on contact. But let me know if you have any other questions or questions from anybody else, because I definitely have to get back and use this spaceship of a telephone and keep running this train down the track.
I will tell you, Sean, I in the comments this whole time, everyone's been very interested and intrigued. I'm not going to read out every comment because that would just, we'd be here for 7 hours. But I appreciate everybody who listened and did comment. And if you can't tell, Sean is just an incredible guy, very driven. This project is just incredibly unique, very exciting. So let's finish up with, give me some important dates or some important next steps, or like how to get involved. It's let's just give you the floor for a minute here and just let it rip, baby.
Yeah, fantastic. There's going to be probably all the links in the bottom to our Discord group. Come take a look, say hello to our community, let us know where you're coming from, where you heard about the project. Definitely check out our website. There's the light paper is on that as well. We're planning to be minting on February 17th. A time of that date is to be determined. We are filling up our whitelist spots pretty quickly. I do not believe they're going to be around past Friday. We will see, and that just gives people the opportunity to mint first. After that, there will be a public sale if there are any left, and we plan to be releasing the MetaCribs on March 31st. MetaCribs are going to be 1,111, and there's going to be a second drop after that. That date might get pushed by a week or two depending on the development, and I've warned everyone about this. There's a lot to do with the VR and AR, building this out in the right way and adding some very new cool bells and whistles so people will have immediate use of that. Said my printer is coming as of now in August. You will be seeing me all over the place down in Florida doing training, looking at build sites, speaking to city officials. We're locked and loaded to do that, and you will see me all over Discord, and there's going to be some new cool team members coming soon. So I'm here. Let me know what I can do for you. If you see anything you have questions about, shout us out. If there's anything you want to learn more about, shout us out, because only through those questions can I help educate and, help the people in our community understand it and really just breathe it in. And that's what we want. And I think we're doing a great job. And by platforms like this, man, I think our possibilities are endless.
Well, I appreciate your time, Sean. I know you're a very busy man. Everyone out there, thanks for watching. I did start my own Discord, so if you wanted to hop in, I'm just going to let it go where it goes. I play a lot of video games. I'm an athlete, so got a lot of NFT talk. So hop in there. All the links for my stuff will be down there too, but make sure that you visit everything that Sean has going on, because as you know, it's an incredible project that's moving forward at a great rate, and there's a lot of very exciting stuff to be excited about. So Sean, again, thanks for your time, and we'll see you again soon for an update there.
Peace, brother. I'll talk to you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. See you, man.
Bye.
Okay.